Hello, everybody, and welcome to our new live stream. Today, we are going to be talking about our fuck-ups when we were moving to Denmark. But before we do that, we will first tell you about what happened in Denmark over the past week. And for that, we have Michael here, who is our self-proclaimed news correspondent. And I'm also joined by Yaro and Denisa, who are going to share their stories of how they fucked up when they moved to Denmark. So, Michael, what did last week have in store for us?
So, I actually prepared a presentation this time.
Let us share it.
Yes. So, hi guys, my name is Michael. I'm the self-proclaimed news correspondent, and I would like to share with you what happened in the past week. So, we have a couple of breaking news. As we finished the troubles with the AstraZeneca vaccine, we slowly came into problems with Johnson & Johnson vaccine. And as AstraZeneca was phased out, Johnson & Johnson followed suit. That means that Johnson & Johnson is not going to be included in the general vaccination calendar, which will mean that the vaccination is going to slow down for up to 4 weeks. So it's going to be delayed. But Sundhedsstyrelsen, the Danish medicines authority or Danish healthcare authority, said that they are going to make both AstraZeneca and Johnson & Johnson vaccine voluntary. So if there is someone who want to get those vaccines, for example, if they don't want to wait for Pfizer or Moderna, so people are going to have opportunity to get those vaccines that are not included in the general vaccination calendar, which is great news, would I say. Then, as always, we have some Corona update. On the Thursday, Denmark rounded 250,000 infected since February last year. That means 14 months after the first case was identified in Denmark. Even though this number might seem a bit scary, according to experts, the situation is really stable. And today, actually, there was an interview with Jens Lundgren, which is a virologist and epidemiologist on Copenhagen University. And he said that he doesn't really see a crisis anymore. So we are really on a good way. And now, as the vaccination is going to progress even more, we are looking for brighter tomorrows.
And Michael, as you said, with the vaccine, is it possible for students to like jump the queue or skip ahead of the line? Is it possible to get the vaccine sooner because of this?
That is a good question. No one knows the answer yet because that was kind of preliminary information about the possibility to get those vaccines voluntary. So we just are going to have to wait for further announcements by the Danish healthcare authority and Søren Kostrom, the director of this.
Fair enough.
Then what happened on the politics scene? Danish banks are introducing, or they are kind of being a bit more strict about negative interest rates. That means that from the 1st of July, pretty much all Danish banks are going to introduce 0.6% negative interest on all savings or all money on your account over 100,000 kronas. So those sweet days where bank actually paid you up to 1% because you had your money there, those are gone. So now be careful about your savings, or just transfer your savings to either your home country or to some online bank, because most of the online banks, or actually I don't know about any online banks such as Revolut, N26 or TransferWise, they don't do that. So just be careful about your money, or you can always invest, even though that might be a bit risky.
But did they give us any explanation for why are they doing it? I mean, it's probably pretty obvious to economics students why it is like that, but maybe if you could shed a bit of a light on that.
That is because our banks, Danske Bank, Nordea, and those, they also have a bank. Their bank is the Danish National Bank, and Danish National Bank charges our banks money for having our money in the Danish National Bank, and that is since 2012 or 2013 when the negative interest rates were introduced there. And because now we kind of see a drop in loans, or like in how much money people loan from banks, banks feel the need of transferring this cost to its customers. So it's just how it is from economic perspective. It's okay. It's right, but of course, from a customer perspective, it can be seen as quite unfair, as banks are seen as institutions that earn a lot of money.
That's fair.
And society and culture. As many of you maybe heard, Danish movie Tuk with Mads Mikkelsen won an Oscar for Best International Movie, which is awesome. Yaro, if you could share what this movie is about.
Yes, I think I can shed some light into it. I have an opportunity to see this movie on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. And without going maybe way too much into details, the story is about four high school teachers that are sort of, well, let's call it facing this midlife crisis. They're sort of in this sleepy existence, when they just go to work every day, go home, and let's say the joy or the spark in their lives is sort of disappearing. And one day, one of those four teachers, he discovers some, let's call it a theory, that the human being has been born with 0.5 promille less than it's supposed to be. Therefore, if you drink and you keep 0.5 promille, you should actually generally perform better and maybe, let's say, reach this sort of like a peak performance that you're supposed to have. And since their life is, as I mentioned, a little bit uninteresting and they need some extra spark into it, they decide to do so. And afterwards, they decide to do so a little bit more, and then the movie happens. So I think this should be like a general overview of the movie. It's basically about experimenting with the alcohol in a nice Danish way.
And because it is
I'm
a
definitely
Danish
gonna
movie,
have to.
it is a bit of a depression road trip down the depression lane by the end of it, but only a little bit compared to other Danish movies. So
yeah, but spoiler alert.
I'm definitely gonna have to check the movie out. But guys, if you want to see more news and kind of go more in depth about what happened last week, just visit our website, studentsurvivorguide.dk, or look on our Instagram, and in the bio you can find a link. So thank you.
Thank you for sharing the news, Michael. And now is the time for us to talk about, once again, our fuck-ups when we were moving to Denmark, because last week we have entered into this topic, but we have not quite yet finished it. We have shared some interesting stories from the days when we were moving to Denmark. You can find the live stream on YouTube or on Facebook if you want to go back and watch it and also get some updates on previous weeks that happened in Denmark. But for this week, I would like to know what kind of fuck-ups did Yaro experience when he was moving to Denmark? Because last time we talked quite a lot about mine. Now it's time for Yaro to embrace himself a bit.
Yes, of course, gladly. I'm always ready to embrace myself. So I think I would like to start with some of the fuck-ups that happened to me that, to be 100% honest, didn't happen immediately after I moved to Denmark. But I would say they are connected to one of the many reasons why actually students come to Denmark, and that is SU. Because I think we all know that when we came to Denmark, we've been sold the idea of SU, as this amazing stuff. You just work a little bit and then you get like even more money. Easy as that, right? Well, I learned quite early that it's not the truth, and it took me actually quite some time to be eligible for the SU. So there was like quite a long process to even apply for it, to get hours, etc., etc. But what I actually didn't know, what I didn't read through, I didn't actually research, is that like once you get a SU, it just keeps coming and coming and coming, and it's sort of like your responsibility to check the hours. And SCED just, or SU, not really sure who, they just once upon a time, like once a year, they just check if you actually got the hours you're supposed to have, if you didn't do anything wrong, and then well, in best case scenario, they say, oh, you did everything correctly, here, enjoy SU another year. And if they don't, then of course they say, oh, you screwed up, well, you better pay back. And yes, and this is exactly what happened to me. I know that I believe that I had 2 months where I didn't work enough. I think it was one of the months was December, so yeah, I was going home, I had exams, etc., etc. So I was missing some hours in December and some another month, and I ended up returning the money, which wouldn't be such a bad case scenario because, well, it happens, But the thing is, it's actually preventable, and that's another thing I just didn't research, And we've got this concept of SC holiday, right? Which you can sort of use to like fill up the gaps where you have, And I only learned about it, after I returned the money. So I ended up returning like I don't know how much, like to SU. So what is it? Close to 10,000 Danish krona.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and I would swear like the following week, I was just like, yeah, wasn't it preventable? And then somebody told me, well, yeah, of course it was. There's did you spend your SU holiday? And I was like, SU what?
This is what happens when you don't read student survival guide. That DK.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is my fuck up that was quite expensive, and especially for me in, I don't even know which semester, but sometime at the beginning of my, let's call it like a journey in Denmark. So 10,000 back then was actually quite something.
It is still quite something.
It is. Again, now it's like quite something, but doable. The time I was like, okay, well, how much for a kidney, or how do I do that, And well, afterwards, I had some, unpleasant summer, that I spent working, just to cover my stupidity and and the fact that I actually didn't research and learn, and read through everything. So yeah, guys, read Student Survival Guide, and on top of reading Student Survival Guide, actually go into the links we usually put into our blogs, because then you've got even more reading and you will learn even more, and you will save money.
This is one of the things that I really like. I really miss on the opportunity that the corona has happened and we are not able to meet any of the people that are actually reading the survival guides, and the people that are watching this right now or watching the videos. We were planning on finally meet physically with all of the people, but now we are here and this is our new normal, as you can see. But that doesn't mean that it will stay that way forever. In upcoming few months, we have some things planned where we will be able to meet all of you physically. We can finally have a beer together, talk about your fuck ups, because you are always only listening about ours, and we are really curious about yours as well. So yeah, fast forward a few months and we'll be able to see each other. But until then, we just have to talk through this Restream Zoom kind of an interface. So here we are. Guys, I need to ask you something that maybe a lot of people are asking themselves right now when they are still at home, not yet in Denmark. And that is, what is the worst job that you ever had when you were in Denmark as a student? Michael, what was it for you?
Yeah, well, it was not really my job, but I believe we talked about this last time, that people should not have like trials, like unpaid trials. So
Yeah.
it was actually when I like 6 months after moving to Denmark. I didn't work because I had some savings and I didn't really have a fee or like have a need to work. But then I looked at my bank account and found out I actually have to start working. So
The
I was
moment when you're too afraid to look at your bank account is the moment when you should be looking at your bank account. The golden rule.
So I was very desperate. Like I needed a job now. So I wrote a couple of applications. I didn't hear back as it is kind of customary in Denmark. But then one restaurant got back to me. And yeah, they said that I can start the next day, so I was super enthusiastic and stuff. It turned out that the job had a kind of scheme that people that are new to the job have to work 3 12-hour shifts for free as a trial. And that was slavery. Like, it was terrible. Like, I was just in the kitchen. It was hot. It was sweaty. It was it was just bad. And after those 3 shifts, I went to the boss to get my contract, and she told me that she's going to give me actually two contracts, one for the SU, which would, because for SU you have to work for at least 100 kronas per hour. So she told me she's going to give me this one as like a fake contract to send to SU, and my real pay is going to be like 70 or 80 kronas per hour. But yeah, it turned out good. At the same time, I just heard back from another application. So I just called to that restaurant and said that I'm very sorry and I regret it, but I found a job that's kind of closer to me. And yeah. What about you, Michael? Did you have any bad job experiences?
When it comes to like part-time jobs, I think I only ever had like few good experiences. the rest of it is pretty bad. I think the job I'm having right now is okay, so that's why I have it. But other than that, most of the jobs are pretty bad. I think the worst is, I don't know, I think this is sort of cliche, but like unloading containers and these kind of jobs, which I never wish upon anyone, but at the same time, it's, I mean, I guess nice to experience what it is like and what your packages are going through when you order them from Amazon. So to know the story of your $3 iPhone charger, how it goes from Amazon warehouse until your door, and these jobs are pretty bad. And also like delivering newspapers, so those DAO on delivering newspapers on scooters, that also kind of sucks. I never had to do it. I've done something similar, but I know plenty of people that were actually working on the scooters from like 6 a.m. until 7 a.m. delivering newspapers, or 4 a.m. until 7 a.m. and it really sucked. So those are probably the worst jobs that I can think of.
I gotta say that from a customer point of view, DAO is great because they do that morning delivery. So like you order something and actually next morning or like 5 or 6 in the morning, it's already here. But as a customer, you don't really think about the lives of the delivery guys.
That's what we were talking about last time. Like for every bit of your convenience, there is like a great deal of inconvenience bestowed upon someone else. And this is like yet another example of it. The same like with the Nemly, right? Like last week we were talking about Nemly. Guys, if you missed that, just go to our YouTube. There is the link, or you can find our previous live stream there. But essentially, we were talking that in Odense and some other parts of Denmark, was it Odense, Michael?
It was in Odense.
Yeah, they have decided to cut contract with Nemly because they were treating their employees pretty badly. They had to like really rush through the orders, and it was dangerous and exhausting and not really up to the standards of working conditions in 21st century. But then again, people want cheap groceries delivered to them fast. So for every bit of convenience, there is this driver's inconvenience. But that's how it is in this world, anyways. Denisa, what is the worst job for you? Oh, sorry, Michael. Please continue.
Yeah, as a self-proclaimed news correspondent, I did some field work and interviewed some people working with Nimly.
Yeah.
Yes, and I don't have any contact with anyone working as a delivery guy, but a friend of mine is working at a storage facility, and he's working there now for like 2-3 weeks, and I believe he handed his resignation yesterday. And that is just because the whole shift, like you have this kind of headset on with very uniform voice that is telling you, to this ale get 3 tomatoes and pack them into box for 8 hours in a row. Like and it's cold there. and there are pretty much no like collegiality, because everyone is really working hard, and they have the screen with their performance. So if you are in the yellow or red area, so that means under, I don't know, 80%. I'm not totally sure about this, but if you are in yellow or green area, they can just fire you on spot. So you really have to kind of fight to stay above the line. So you just have to be better than the last one.
For those wondering how it looks like, this is essentially the kind of a job, right? So you have a headset on, you are speaking comments into the headset, and the headset is then replying to what you should be doing. And you have to do this pretty fast, because they have certain quotas for how many items you need to be picking from the storage area every hour, I guess, is the KPI, right? So this is the kind of a job, and it's a very robotic, monotonous voice, as you just said. So I think there is a lot of warehouses in Denmark that are using this very similar system. So if you are going to be working in Denmark in warehouse, this is likely what you're going to be doing at some point, which of course is not very pleasant, but it's the way we do things. And so
when Yar was talking about his fuck up with when he didn't work enough, then people have to also think that, imagine a situation where you land a great job, you enjoy it, and you actually have time to work, and to work a lot. People also have to be careful not to work too much, because people have always just some certain amount of money one can earn every year. When it's counted for months, I believe it's for 2021, it's 13,700-ish per month before tax. So that's like 160,000 per year. And if you're going to get above that, that means you're going to have to pay back certain rate of your, or certain amount of your SU back to the state. So be careful about that.
If you're interested to read more about SU, then you can go to our website, Student Survival Guide. In the top right corner, there is a search box, and you can just search for SU. And this is essentially everything you need to know about SU in Denmark. Who can receive it? How can you receive it? How can you contact SU? And so on, and so on. Also, there is a link which you can click on, and let's see. Can you see the link, guys? Yeah, you can. Okay. So here is an official SCAT website, the tax authority. Unfortunately, it's in Danish. Yeah, you cannot. But you can use simply Google Translate, and you can here see how much you can earn every year before brutal, before taxes. So let's say that you are getting SU for 12 months. Wait. Yeah. And that's essentially it. Then you can earn 164,532. That's the amount that you can earn every year outside of SU.
But remember also that you always have a possibility to kind of cancel your SU, for example, for 1 month, and then the amount you can earn is gonna really go up. I believe it's around 38,000 per month you can earn if you don't take SU. So if you just earn way too much, then just the next month you can just choose not to get SU, and your amount of money you can earn on the side is gonna go up.
So this is the level of information you get after being in Denmark for such a long time and running this kind of a project. Like, this is just crowdsourced knowledge about SU in one place. If anyone has any questions about SU, like, we are the people that can probably answer it. Denisa, what is the worst job that you ever had?
Oh, thank you for asking. Well, until now, I've only had like cleaning jobs.
Okay.
And I had 3 in total, and let's just say that they gradually got worse. So yeah, when I came to Denmark, I didn't fuck up that much because fortunately I had a lot of support. But last year, actually, I did fuck up with 2 of my jobs. I just quit one of my cleaning jobs, and like a few weeks after, my boss, my previous boss back then, calls me that he needs help for uh, cleaning the premises of some animal hospital that I was cleaning before because he couldn't find a replacement. So, no, like a very nice person that I am, I agreed to help him for 1 week. And this job is involves cleaning 6 times a week and like 3 hours approx. And I had enough time, so I went and helped him. And like some time passed, like a month passed, I didn't receive any money. Like 2 months passed, I didn't receive any money. Of course, I contacted his boss, he didn't reply me. And then even until now, I still did not receive any money for that entire week that I cleaned in that place. And it's not a very like nice place to clean. It's a very shitty place because it's dirty. It's an animal hospital. You have to clean urine from the floor and you have to clean hair and stuff. So that was I think one of my biggest fuck ups, that I did not follow up enough on this guy, on this boss, and I didn't get my money.
But because you didn't get paid, you can call it volunteering, and because it was at animal hospital, then you can say that you were volunteering at animal hospital. I mean, that's not too bad. So you just switch the perspective a bit, and it's a nice thing for your CV after all.
Yeah, actually, the way I was calming myself down while doing this job was because I was just like interacting with the few animals that were there, and usually dogs, and I love dogs. So that was, I think, the best part of this job. And yeah, otherwise it was pretty shitty, and I had to work overtime, and yeah, the salary was small as well. So everything got sucked. Thank God for the for the animals. And another thing that I did a few months after, because I apparently like working for free so much, I was supposed to get a job as a dishwasher for like a restaurant, and I went there twice, and it was all good. The boss really liked me, and she was also Romanian, so like we were fine. The team was fine. I was getting sushi for those 2 days that I was working there, and then they promised me the job, saying that yeah, you will have a contract next week. And then the following week they called me that they don't need my help anymore because of COVID. It happened during Corona and when the country locked down. So they didn't need me the following week. Then the other week they didn't need me again. So in the end, it turned out that they didn't need another dishwasher. So what I worked for 2 days was not paid in like anything apart from one portion of sushi. Because yeah, I like working for free.
At least you're working for some ransom, so a little bit of sushi to fix it.
Yeah,
that was the
good.
sushi.
I mean,
was the sushi good?
Yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, it was amazing.
Worth it.
that's always something. But like now you can maybe write to your CV that you are running a charity for a restaurant. Like working for free, volunteering
Cleaning for free.
Yes, that's very honorable.
Yes.
Actually, your story reminded me to maybe order some sushi from Too Good To Go for today. I don't know if you guys are using Too Good To Go.
All the
I
time.
might do that.
Not at all.
Well, it's actually pretty nice. Not too far from us, there is some sushi restaurant. You can get like this, whatever big box for like 70 kronas or something. Well, pretty good sushi. So I think I know.
Guys, I have a question to you.
Mm-hmm.
If you would, like, imagine you would move to Denmark again. Like, imagine you being, I don't know how long you are in Denmark for, but yeah, those 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years ago. What is the biggest thing you would have done differently?
Ooh.
I would choose better friends to start off with.
Yarrow is not good enough.
No, I didn't know Yarrow back then.
Yeah, he didn't. That's true.
I was hanging out with worse people. I mean, not worse for me. Not you know what I mean.
In my case, I think maybe I would force myself to study a little bit more.
That's so
I can
generic, man.
second that.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. Fair enough. I would be. The thing is, like, right. Until recently, I never had to do a re-exam. But that doesn't mean I necessarily had amazing grades. And it's true that necessarily in Denmark, the grades, okay, maybe unless you apply for like a really good university, it doesn't really matter. As it's more about passing yes or no, right? But actually, right now, when it comes to my current program, and I have this, I'm in this project period with other of my classmates, and when I look at them, and sort of like at their determination to get a good grades, I have to admit I feel a little bit, yeah, lazy at best. Let's say it like this. So
I feel terrible every time I see because I used to have a schoolmate that once got 10 and was super sad. Like she was almost crying that she didn't get 12. And I believe at that exam I got like 4 or 0 or something. I was super happy that I passed.
yeah.
Well, I used to be
So
like that in the beginning when I came here, I think for like the first year and a half. And because of that, I was spending so much time studying and getting good grades. But yeah, later on, you learn that good grades don't really matter. Yeah, I was not going out at all, like with people. I had almost no friends, just like my ex-boyfriend at the time, and maybe a few friends from an organization that I joined because I had no friends.
Was it
And
Isaac?
yeah, it was Isaac.
can you
But
please
it's a great
can you
place
please
to make
share
friends.
some can you please share some organization to make friends? I might be in the need of some.
Man, Isaac is the best. Trust me. Like it's really cool. Like the people there are very cool. Well, depends now if you believe in what the organization believes in, or join Student Survival Guide. Not you, but
That's
others.
a cool place.
Oh yeah, guys, you are one of my closest friends.
We are the best friends that only ever saw each other through the screen. Thank you, Corona.
Yes.
I think we had this kind of comment on our YouTube channel, something similar to Denisa just described. It was from someone who wrote something also about parties, like something along the lines like I haven't been to a party in 5 years, but now I have a PhD, so that's going well for me. I was like, oh well, okay, like someone who it was kind of funny because it was like a comment from someone who has a PhD, and he was like kind of sad because he has a PhD, but would rather go for a party instead, and which is kind of funny when you think about it. Some people might be going to parties every Friday, and they were like, oh fuck, I wish I had a PhD or something. Like when you change the perspective, like the whole world just shifts. So just
Yeah, but
be happy with it.
maybe it's just the things like no, and I think it's sort of like our human nature. You always want what you don't have, right? So
Grass is always greener on the other side, right?
exactly.
Well, I had the honor to meet a couple of PhD students, and I would say all of them are pretty much the same. Like you can see those characteristics of people that didn't have any social life for super long time, so now that they're kind of socially awkward because they forgot how to act with other people. So
There are some
yeah.
exceptions to this rule, to be honest. Like we have a video coming up with an interview with one PhD student at our university. He was a pretty cool guy. He was also partying during his bachelor's and so on. So he was fine. But for majority of PhD students, yeah, it's
I remember Michael when we had this last year when me and Michael, if we wanted to apply for a master's, we had to go through some additional courses to get the credits. And then I don't want to specify, but in one subject we had one PhD student who was teaching a couple of lessons. I don't know how long he was teaching us. Let's say 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I think. Oh well. I'm pretty sure, what he was, he understood everything he was saying. I'm pretty sure he knows more than I ever will, or I don't know, he already forget more than I will ever know in that area. But
Wait,
wow,
what teacher are you talking about?
no, I don't want to say the name. I don't want to feel like a dick, but
Well, I mean, there are 12 viewers, so chances are pretty slim that he's one of
yeah,
them.
yeah. I mean Jorge. or he wasn't Jorge, he wasn't
Ah,
Spanish, he was Danish, but
yeah,
I remember the thing is like he
yeah.
knows what he's saying about, but like I think the communication and sort of like transmission and presentation and projecting the information. Oh yeah, it was bad.
This is one of the worst things, that if you are teaching something that's like ridiculously difficult, and if you teach it like ridiculously boring way, that's the worst combination. So if there are any
Yeah.
teachers watching this right now, then step up your game and put some GIFs and memes inside of your presentations to make it more fun. Do you guys have any advice for your teachers if they might be watching this sometime in the future? Like, what is something that you would wish they would do more?
Ooh.
Be friends with students. On my AP degree, I had one teacher that was. Oh, I'm gonna take it from different perspective. Right now, I have a teacher that is very professional, like extremely professional teacher in the way how he speaks and how he teaches. But there, like throughout my AB degree, I kind of got used to that Danish way of teacher to student relationship, which is very relaxed, or can be very relaxed. So yeah, just be friends with teachers. On my not with teachers, with students. I had a study trip on my AP degree, and we just went out drinking with our teachers because they were super cool, and yeah, it was awesome. So just be a human.
Might be easier said than done.
Yeah, I mean, like, come on, I have a hard time making friends with my own age group, and yet let alone someone that's 20 years younger than you. So we need to cut them some slack.
Actually, I have a friend that is 72 years old here in Denmark.
Wow.
70?
Her 72. Her name is Doris, and I met her through. Oh, guys, that's actually awesome.
Tinder.
For those of you that are kind of struggling with Danish, there is this project called Elder Learn, and they match Danish pensionists or seniors with international students. And the main goal, and it's for free. And the main goal of this is that the seniors are not alone, because the loneliness of seniors is kind of a big problem. And the international students can learn the language, or like, because when I talk with Doris, we don't talk about the grammar. Well, not now. We've been meeting for some time, so now we are just two friends. But in the start, we didn't really talk grammar, but we just talked, and so I got the conversational skills. But I also got to learn a lot about Danish culture, Danish traditions. So that's something I really can recommend. And I was also very lucky about my Doris, because she's super active, and we were just going to museums, we are going to cafes, we are going on walks. It's
Is
great.
this her?
That's not Doris.
Oh,
I don't have a picture of her, but she's awesome. Like, I believe I'm gonna see her this week, and we're gonna bake traditional Danish buns, which is just super cozy. Like, just baking with Danish grandma. What is more
that's
hygge
cool.
than this?
That's cool. So,
But how does
yeah,
it work during Corona?
Well, it's not something that is like very organized. Like, Elderlearn, the agency, or the project, they introduce you, or like they initiate the primary contact. So they schedule where you are going to meet and when you are going to meet. In my case, we just met at her place. Yeah, someday. The only prerequisite for this is that you gotta to have a clean register of crimes. So you actually have to get your crimes list and upload it to Elderlearn, so they know that you are not some kind of weirdo that is going to rob the seniors. So yeah, they just initiated the first contact, and then in the first like half a year, they just send me an email every week if we met and then now they send me that every 3 months or every 4 months if we are still seeing each other, because then it's up to us how often we want to see each other, when or where we want to see each other. So yeah, and during Corona, in the first wave of Corona, we kind of had a break with that for, I don't know, like a month or something. Like everyone was scared of Corona. And now in December we also had a short break because it was lockdown everywhere. But now we just meet every 2 weeks or something for coffee, and we just can't wait for the museums to open again, so we can just go somewhere and have fun.
Yeah. Actually, I think I have a question. You said that for the first time that you met in her place. How was the feeling? For the first time to go in some random old lady's place. To speak with her Danish.
Well, it was so weird because like I didn't know how she looks. I just knew her name and I had the address.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just knocked on the door, and then I just went in, and yeah, we just sat by the table. And actually, at that moment, my Danish was not great, so it was kind of awkward. But yeah, it's like it's when you meet someone who is totally out of your age group for the first time, and you just have to talk, or like you don't have to talk, but you should talk, because that's the whole idea behind this. So it was weird at first, but then it got very normal and natural. So yeah.
I think this whole idea could be pushed even a step further if they would have some app or something where you can like sort of prepare for the conversation. They give you some flashcards with some ideas or maybe some quiz or
They do
something
that.
to talk about.
They do
Okay.
that. You got an email, like I got an email before the first meeting, and then every week I got another like topic what we could talk about. Like when you start to get to know someone, and you don't really know what to talk about. So there were certain topics, or like what we could talk about, and then they just when they got through all the areas, they just said it's up to us, because at that point, like they sent it for like half a year or 9 months or something. So yeah, you just find out your own way what to talk about.
That's cool. I think I don't know if it is in the area where we are living, but I would be definitely down to try it out. Sounds like a cool thing.
That depends. That just depends if people or the seniors are like in your area, because first the senior like joins, and then they just wait until elder one makes a match. It's kind of like Tinder, but for older friends.
Tinder just for grannies. Fair enough.
Without any.
No,
You get your own gilf, and
and also we are living in an area where a lot of people are coming to die, so I'm pretty sure that there will be some elders in Horsens. So chances are pretty big that we can find someone to match with. Anyways, we have a question on our Facebook channel. Whether our parents support our decision to go study abroad. His parents, or her parents, I believe it's his parents, don't really like the idea of going to study abroad. Guys, what are your opinions on this? What would you do in this situation? Did your parents support you to go abroad? Did you have to convince them? What was the situation for you?
Then I guess if I may start, I have to say that I think I was really lucky in this case, because I believe I received like full support from my parents. I remember when I came with the idea for the first time, of course, there was this sort of like I would call it like a healthy skepticism, because it's not just like that you go to Denmark, right? There's a lot of like prerequisites, and a lot of stuff that needs to be handled before you do so. But yeah, I think they were just like, yeah, but if you want to, and if you handle the preparations, the potential exams we had back then, I had no idea, what's actually needed to go to Denmark for going to Denmark. If you can get there, we'll support you fully. actually understood what happened. So I think in this case I didn't really have to speak. Didn't really have to persuade them or anything like that.
Yeah, precisely. And I think in Matis' case, if I pronounce your name correctly, if your parents are not 100% sure if this is the right thing and if their main concern might be the financial side of things, and you are fully committed to go to study in Denmark, then there are guides on our website on how to find a job and also how to start working before your university even starts. So you might as well just come during the summer, earn some extra money, stay for AP degree or something, just try it out. And if you do not like it, you can always come back home. There will be no financial strain as long as you know how to work. Then it will be completely fine, and you might even come back home with some extra money because of SU and having part-time job. So there's definitely a good experience if you are really committed to do it. Then there are always ways to do it, and I think it's a great decision to go not only to Denmark but to go abroad in general. It just broadens up your horizons. You make tons of friends you would not otherwise do, and you experience the tough things in life, which is ultimately a good thing. Do you agree, Michael?
I definitely agree. Also, to answer to the question too, I also had like super big support for my family, and even though my mom is still sad 2.5 years later that I'm in Denmark and I'm far away, which got also a bit complicated because I haven't seen my family for almost a year now because of Corona. So yeah, I got full support, and like my parents, as long as I'm happy, they are happy as well, and I have never been happier in my life. So come to Denmark.
And then we'll have a beer,
Yeah.
which you are paying because you will get a job. Denisa, what are your thoughts about this?
Yeah, well, actually, my father wouldn't even let me go to university in another city in the beginning, so I had to gradually ease him into me going abroad. But fortunately, he really was supporting very much the idea of broadening your horizons internationally. And fortunately, we had a lot of relatives abroad, so like he kind of knew that I would succeed, like I would make it here. But yeah, still he wasn't sure about it. I had to really convince him that everything will be fine and I will be able to support myself because the financial side was a very big problem. And yeah, I got a job very late when I came to Denmark. But when I did, and right now I'm totally financially independent. So I'm very glad that at least he let me come here. But yeah, it's definitely very important to, yeah, you wanted to say, Michael?
Also, if you have siblings, that is a great way how to kind of make yourself the favorite child, as it is very probable that if you come to Denmark and you start working, you're going to be very self-sustainable, or like you don't need any support from your parents anymore because you earn good money here. So they're going to be very pleasantly surprised how quickly you kind of got to the system, and that you actually don't need them anymore from the financial side, and actually only go and see them because you want to. So that's also a great way how to take it.
Unless you are me, and you will gladly take money from them for 1.5 years before finding a job, which can also happen. So if you are a parent watching this, then beware. But everything
Yeah.
turns out fine at the end.
Now I have to really ask my parents very hardly not to send me money because I have plenty. Like I can make it. And they still think I'm that little girl, that needs money from others and stuff like that.
But I was thinking about this like a few days ago, and I think in a way they are not like they are looking out for our good, right? When they send us to Denmark and they paid for it and they want us to get educated. But the very end of the chain, they are thinking about their own good because we are now abroad in Denmark, right? So we can bring them back to Denmark. We can set up a nice life for them for retirement and everything. So just think twice about whatever advice they give you, because at the end of the day, they're thinking about themselves.
My mom told me something like this, that she kind of expects that I'm going to take care of her when she is retired.
Yeah, my dad was like, well, I saw those nice garden houses behind the city, and I'm like, yeah, really? So, Michael, you wanted to say before I interrupted you?
I forgot what I wanted to say, but I'm pretty sure it was funny.
All right. We have a quick question on YouTube coming in. In Denmark, there is still remote teaching, or are you already returning to normality? Some statistics, student, I guess, and classes at university. We are returning back to normal slowly. For this semester, it's still remote.
Are you guys?
From next semester.
Because so in our case, the Danish educations, like the programs in Danish, they are back for, I don't know, 20, 30, 40, or 50% of the presence, so they can come back. For international programs, so they said that because there is a chance that many students actually fled back to their home countries because of Corona, so they are not gonna make any teaching on the campus in this semester, which kind of sucks, because that means that in my current program, I'm not going to go to school again, because I'm finished next January and I have internship September, October, November. So
yeah, we're in a similar situation where we will likely not for the rest of our master's degree attend campus, maybe next semester, hopefully, but I don't know. I personally do not think that it will be like super mandatory to be there. I think it's still going to be like hybrid, that there will be some offline lectures, but they will be live streamed anyways. So knowing my lazy ass, I will not leave my bedroom unless I have to watch the lectures. So I guess masters for us is online.
I feel so old. Like I just feel like I wasted, or like I didn't appreciate being like with my school friends at a campus. And now I'm probably not going to see them again.
I was having this same thought, so I'm just thinking to pick up some master's degree in some other country just for the sake of having friends for once in university.
Just being a student again, like I think I completely wasted my student years, and now I'm just gonna work until I'm 65, and then I'm gonna retire and die. So
now you finish education, then now like it's gonna be like 42 years of working, and then you can just drop dead or something.
Maybe 39 if you invest smart.
Yeah.
But if you are actually working way too much when you're old, so as a news correspondent, I can say that last year Denmark has gotten a new law that says that if you work too much and you get like tired in your body and you have health problems, you can retire earlier than you're supposed to, and you're still gonna get the money you're supposed to get. So guys, if you find some work that is like physically hard at Nemly.com, for example,
the one with a headphone,
so you can retire earlier than you're supposed to.
Okay, but that still means, but then that means that you still need to do, you need to like break your back, for like a 39 years, just to go to the pension for like 1 year earlier. Yeah, I don't know.
Every coin has two sides.
No, that's true.
I like the fact that people are asking us about how it is looking at the university, and we're already trying to sell them the idea of retiring early. It's just, it's over, guys. Veronica says that she went back to college when she was 27, so it's never too late to study and meet new people. Precisely.
Thank you. I
like that answer.
I see some hope.
Light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, no. But actually, right now my group mates are also, in a group of 5 people. I'm the youngest one at the age of 25, and actually I had I think I had like one guy who's like 29 and the one who's 28. One of them is actually like a full-time father now, and yet, they are still at university.
On my AP degree, I had a schoolmate that was, I believe she was around 50.
Okay.
She used to be like a high school teacher, and then I guess she's kind of burned out, so she just studied AP degree in hospitality. And it was weird kind of to have someone like that, but that's all about mindset, because I think she was not very used to having people like having like schoolmates
Mhm.
like one generation younger. So yeah, that was not very nice. But yeah, just if you're any age, go and study because it's good for you.
Smart thing to do. And if you're going to be studying in Denmark, then make sure to follow Students Rallyguide on all social media platforms and go to our website to read all the blogs that we are putting together with a great help from Denisa, who is the mastermind behind most of the recent blogs, and she's doing a great job with that. Thank you for joining us today. We have had our self-proclaimed news correspondent Michael to join us today. We have had Yara, who is our funny guy, and Denise, who is responsible for all of the things that are happening on the website, and me, who just talks a lot of stupid things. And we have also had Madara in the background replying to our comments. She's not on live stream yet here, but she is in a comment section and she was taking care of that. To answer your question, Veronica, will we shoot new videos? Yes, we will shoot new videos, but they will be mostly coming out from next semester only, so we can have some buffer before we can release and shoot new ones.
And summer vacation.
It's a summer vacation and we want to have a vacation too. We were doing this for almost 2 years. We are tired of this at this point. Not of this, in general, from life. We just want to retire already. 39 years, and it's gonna be there. So thank you guys for joining us today, and we will see you again. We don't know when, but we will keep you updated on social media. So make sure to smash the like button, subscribe, and see you next time. Goodbye.